Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking the time to stop in, and I appreciate your presence. And so we will begin a reading called The Deep Dark Shadow Side of the Story. So this tends to be the shadow side, the shadow work, all those kind of places that are kind of the problems behind closed doors, beneath the surface, under the carpet. We're fully aware that there's a problem, but we might not be fully aware of what needs to be done or how we need to interpret it or how we need to handle it. So we all have these dark spots, these hurtful spots, and these stories that kind of go on, like I said, beneath the surface or behind closed doors, okay? So take the reading as it resonates. Remember, the readings can be reversed or mirrored, so if it's not your story, it could be the person you're involved with story or somebody in your environment. So take it as it lands. It's for crosswater watchers as well. Also, take it as it resonates for everyone's individual level of awareness or state of consciousness, right? So everybody will understand it in different terms or different ways. So take it as it lands. And so it's to be interpreted by each individual. Okay, so we are going to begin this reading. This is a new reading, and like I said, it's kind of the dark shadow side, and we all have these areas. Now, whether it's current time, present time, which I know it is because we all have these areas we're looking at. You live a life, you have a shadow spot. But it can be linked back to family lineage. It can link back to karmic cycles that were in the current life, and it can be generational karmic cycles, okay? So when I say generational karma or karmic cycles, it means repeating cycles within family lineage, repeating cycles within generations of family. So a lot of people don't stop to actually sit and think about that. So what that would mean, if you sat down and you went back through the last 2, 3, 4 generations of your family, do you happen to have repeating themes or storylines? And for most of us, the answer is yes. Okay. So we will begin with the pre-shuffle information, kind of the intuitive messages that go with this particular reading. So there is definitely kids involved with this reading. So it's going to be 2 children or more. Okay, so and it involves rumors, lies, gossip, gaslighting, somebody manipulating words, or saying stories behind the scenes to make the other look bad, kind of to stack their deck in a verbal way, but very, very, very negative, manipulating and underhanded. So it would be someone who is kind of at the win at all costs. It would be somebody who's not only manipulating, but they would have absolutely no integrity, and they would have absolutely no idea of the idea of karma. Okay, so what you put out there is what you get back. So in my time, I've actually had the conversation of karma with a few different people. Either you get it or you don't. It's something until you kind of get slapped in the face with it, you basically probably don't pay attention. And again, that will boil down to your state of consciousness or state of awareness. Okay, so I remember having a particular conversation with somebody, and I said, be careful what you say and do to people because that will come back to haunt you. Whatever you put out there, you're going to pay for it, probably in a multiplied fashion, in a correction state or an autocorrect state. You do something bad, you're going to have something bad happen to you, or it will come back in a reverse fashion where you're going to pay for your words in some fashion. And this person said, I don't believe that. Okay, so that was fine. I left it at that. And I believe I had this conversation with this person one other time, and a very low vibrational person. You can tell by the response and the answer. There was no thought or consideration even given to this. So that's what I mean. What you put out there, you get back. And I've often said to people, they would want to do this and want to do that, kind of in a retaliation mode. And I would say, if you had to pay the consequences for what you're thinking about doing, would you want that? And they stopped dead in their tracks and they said, no, I guess not. Okay. So again, this particular energy for this reading is about rumors, lies, gossip. It's gaslighting. It's manipulating. It's being very underhanded. Dealing with somebody with absolutely zero integrity and no morals. There's no principles, no values. Probably no value systems within this person. Probably because it's never been thought of. It's me, myself, and I, and my path or road ahead. And there's no consideration or regard given to anybody else. Okay, so when I say that, you'll know where that fits and who that is. And that tends to be a very low vibrational person. Okay. So this person you're involved with, is the mean person behind closed doors in a nutshell. It just came up as a very mean, deceitful person, like a lot of hateful, hurtful speech, very mean and degrading speech. So it's degrading to you. And this person would not be doing this probably in the public, but it would be more behind closed doors, closed in territory or closed environment, unless they're around people who they really don't care, or it's been kind of accepted where they might have people that view this or witness this, but there's no consideration given to those few people who would actually witness this, okay? There's a handful of people that would know this. There is a handful of people who would see this, but it would be very limited. So it's a person wearing a false mask. How they appear in public is exactly the opposite of how they appear behind closed doors. There is something else within this particular reading that you're inhibited from making choices. You're stopped. There's something stopping you from choosing something different. So whether it's religious beliefs, often that can be the case. It can be parental or grandparental or outside social pressures to stay someplace where you know you probably don't belong, or stay someplace and not do anything. There's a problem or an issue that needs to be resolved, but that's not happening for whatever reason. So it could be because religious reasons, it could be money or debt load, or it could be children. For example, you're staying in a relationship because of the kids, or you're stuck in a relationship because of money and finances, or you're being pressured from outside sources, or you're pressured from religious beliefs, okay? It's a negative relationship involved. Take it as it lands. It'll be a slightly different storyline for everybody. And whoever this person is trying to justify their bad behavior. So it's kind of like that gaslighting. You know, what comes to mind initially when I seen that, it reminds me of the physical, mental, or emotional abuse. And, you know, you've done nothing wrong. So whether it's a person who has an addiction problem, alcoholic, or just has a fit or rage of anger, it's like if you did nothing and they were having an angry day, they would turn around and they would say, you made me do it, you did this. You know, blame shifting. And so that's how they try to justify their anger, as in you. They blame something or somebody else, probably you, for their behavior, their actions, and their words. Okay, so that's all I have to say about for the storyline that goes with this. So what we'll do is we will make a, there we go. So this, there's going to be 5 cards, and it's basically the reverse of the negative value for these cards. So this initially comes up, and I'm definitely going to read this upright because it exactly fits the storyline. This is sadness. This is emotional disappointment. This is regret. This is sadness looking back. Something did not work out how it was supposed to. Things were not as they appeared in some way, shape, or form. This is emotional loss, and this is also emotional loss of interest in this relationship. You've lost interest in this person. You've probably very much lost interest in this relationship a long time ago. So this is disparity, sadness, regret, disappointment, and this very much points to the area of heartbreak. Okay, so this has been going on. So when I see this 5 of Cups is this is going to be going, I'm going to say, within a span of 5 years, if not more. We have 5 cups going on, and, you know, there's been, like I said, you've been stopped from making choices. There is light at the end of the tunnel. If you look at this card, there's actually light shining through the window. There is a bright sunny spot, a bright sunny side, a path out. But for whatever reason, you've not taken this, you've not went down this path or whatever. There's something stopping you from doing something different, making a choice, getting out of this, or whatever. Could be somebody, could be something, could be money, could be finances, could be religious factors, religious beliefs. So you'll know how that fits. Okay, this one here, this is really interesting because when I was going to do this spread, I was going to take the reverse meanings of all the upright cards. But the way this is falling, these are actually all very negative polarity cards, even in the upright. So there is some very there's very stark energy here. So it's like I'm not even having to reverse the cards. They're showing up in negative value. So it's interesting. This is very tiring. So this is mentally exhausting, emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting. This, again, points to the heartbreak. Often this card has the sword to the chest or sword to the heart area. So brokenhearted. sadness, regret, loss of interest. This is very draining. It's a very depleting energy or situation or relationship you're in. Very, very tiring. It's exhausting. It's like, you know what, in the last probably 5 years, it feels like you're probably age 25. Kind of those things. It's something that would keep you awake at night. You'd be stressed over it. You'd have worry, anxiety. Something that it's the hamster wheel over and over in the head. So when this card comes up, you'll see that the horse in the front corner, it means you think all night. And so whether you're thinking about how bad things are, how bad things feel, how bad things have turned, you know, the bad road it took, and trying to find a way out, and trying to decide how you're going to do that. So in these situations, lots of times it takes a long time before you get solid in your boots and you start having to make better choices for yourself. And just remember, when you're in a depleted value, whether it's health, emotion, like emotional health, mental health, physical health, at that point, when it reaches that, you're actually at no good value for anybody in your own. Even if you're kids, you're not a good help. You're not probably a good positive parent. You do the best you can with what you got. But in a negative polarity or negative energy of sadness, regret, loss of interest, a place you don't want to be and haven't wanted to be for a long time, this is not a good energy to be around. And lots of times, I mean, I've been through this too, as you know, in a home as a child experiencing that. You know, people or parents say, no, I stay for the kids. Well, to me, after going through the experience, getting myself and my story, your kids aren't stupid. You know, kids will walk in and they know there's tension. They instantly sense that. So if you think you're fooling your kids, you're not. They will know that there's something wrong, okay? And we do know that there's children involved here. Children are smarter than what we give them credit for, right? Those little honest little eyes and honest little ears, and they're very, very intuitive from a very young age. And when you're not getting enough sleep, you're very, very tired, very exhausted. Okay, so here is our gossip card. So this is going to involve probably 1 to 3 people, if not more. So when this card shows up in a negative polarity, it means that there is probably an addiction problem, alcoholism, drinking, partying. This is also the ring of gossip. So whoever you're involved with, again, that basically touches on the rumors, lies, gossip, gaslighting. This could be a person who would spend time out drinking and partying or whatever, leaving the family at home. Take it as it lands. That can go either way. Now, this can be male, female, however it lands. It's not gender specific anyway. But hanging around with friends, putting the family, the wife, the husband on hold because they're busy doing their own thing, but they would expect you to stay at home and hold down the fort and be the proper spouse. Okay, so it's kind of like that double edge. You know, what I do is not good for you. I'll suit me and you still look after me, kind of thing. A very self-centered energy. Well, when I see this, it's rumors, lies, gossip, and it tends to be the party, the drinking thing. Okay. Okay, and here's our choices card. Oh my goodness, wow. Again, so here it is, the choices again. This normally would be the choices moving ahead, but because in the negative reverse polarity, you have choices, you want to move ahead, but again, there's something stopping you. Something stopping you from doing this. Okay, yeah, okay. Here's the bullying card. So we have someone with an authority problem. We have somebody with a very big, large ego problem. When this shows up, this tends to be the abuse of power. Power, control, dominating, domineering. This can be someone controlling the money and you having to, they give orders, commands, and they expect you to obey. That would be essentially what I would be looking at with this card. It's the Emperor card. This is the card of Aries. When I see this, it's an abuse of power, someone taking advantage of a situation or somebody controlling money, controlling funds to control you, okay? Abuse of power, that can go in any way, shape, and form. That can be physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, and we have that sitting right here. This is a very draining, depleting energy. It's kind of like, I would say this, probably this has been going on for an excess of 5 years, over 5 years, but the last 5, it's basically where the energy tanks or the gas tanks run dry. There's nothing left. It's one person give, the other person take, and they'll expect more, and they will demand more. A very demanding, controlling person. This could be a very highly codependency problem. Take that as it lands. That won't be for everybody. Will definitely be for some. Okay, so Again, I'm just going to show you the bottom of this, and I'm going to leave this card out because, again, I keep on talking about choices and being inhibited making choices. You can't, you're stopped, or something's stopping you or blocking you. I'm going to leave this card out right here because that, again, we have that not once, but we have that twice. Something's stopping you from moving forward. Okay, so now I'm going to take this row and we're going to just further define these cards. Kind of like clarify each card. So let's clarify the 5 of Cups. And you know what? This has been going on long enough. You're fully aware of what's going on, but you're undecided how to deal with this, what you need to do, whether you or not you think you should belong here or not anymore. Trying to decipher how to understand this. Sit and think about it, whether it's a generational karmic cycle or a karmic cycle, you know, in the current time. And what do you need to do? You know, what do I do about this? How do I understand this? How do I find my way out about this? 8 of Cups. Okay. So this is interesting because this actually clarifies this card. So when I see this particular combination, it would mean that you're walking away. You put it this way: emotionally, mentally, you walked away from this relationship a long time ago. You're hanging in there for whatever reason, whether it's the kids, finances, being pressured by outside sources. That's why you're staying. But you've emotionally walked away a long time ago, and I'm going to say 5 years, but probably longer than 5 years. Stayed for whatever reason now. But you walked away emotionally, and you're actually preparing to walk away physically. But you're still thinking about this. And again, this is a total loss of interest, emotionally, mentally, physically. There's nothing left here. And lots of times we stay in situations due to money and finances, but at that point, really, the love, the interest, the intimacy has been long gone out of this relationship. 2 of Wands. Okay, you're sitting there thinking about night, thinking about making choices. You're making choices in your head. You're sitting there thinking about this. 2 of Wands is the path. You got a choice of plan A, plan B, or road A, road B, and you're sitting there thinking about this. You're thinking about walking away at night. You're sitting there thinking in this shed. Do I take road A? Do I take road B? How do I contemplate this? And you can sit there and you think about this day in, day out, except the nights are worse. And you sit there and you're trying to think your way out. Remember, swords are always a mental suit. So you're laying in bed thinking about this. The choices I need to make, again, this is choices, choices, choices. And there's something that's slowing that down or stopped it, blocked it, inhibited it. You're thinking about leaving and which way do I go? What do I do? How do I get there? Well, I have support. And there's going to be, a lot of people are not going to know what's going on behind closed doors here. But there's going to be a couple of you out there where it's going to be, you have one person, family, one close friend who knows about this. You said something to one person. Other than that, it's reasonably quiet. So that could be a mom, could be a dad, could be a neighbor, could be a close trusted friend. Okay. This is the 11 of Cloud card. So this, when I take this, see this, this is a drinking, partying, rumors, lies, gossip, probably out all night partying with friends, family, wife, husband, kids are at home, whatever, take it as a noun. When I see this in the negative polarity, this is the card of marriage. This, again, this keeps on coming up. This is a couples card. This is also the choices card, but it's also the couples card. So this is like the relationship, the card of marriage. 4 of Wands is typically known as a marriage card. So this is a problem going on within a marriage, and there's alcoholism or addictions, or this could be infidelity. It can be all sorts of things. Anything in the negative value that would have to do with something very hurtful, very negative within a marriage or a relationship that's been going on here. Chances are, because it's clarifying this, there's an addiction problem. There's a party problem. And this could be, going to lounges, the bar, whatever. Take it as a lounge, a drinking problem. Or this could be actually drugs and alcohol. But this has got to do with in a personal relationship, marriage. Definitely marriage. We have this and we have this. Male and female, man and woman, husband, wife. Karmic relationship. Okay, put this back up right. Go on with that. Okay. Six of Swords. Okay, so this is interesting. Again, this is the moving on, moving forward, moving on to better times. Again, this is right below the Chariot. This is the same energy. One's a major arcana, one is a minor arcana. They're basically the same thing, moving forward and moving on, making plans to get the hell out. So you're looking to escape this, to get out of this negative value, this negative energy. However, this is not going to be the easiest thing to get out because you got someone who's a control freak. So whoever you're dealing with, when they become controlling, they become domineering, trying to control with money or, being mean, putting you down, those kind of things, negative energy. Usually this boils back to there's an insecurity in this person. Even though they would come across as the most confident person in the world, the most secure person in the world, it's exactly the opposite, because if they actually had it, you wouldn't be doing this. So deep down, now whether you've noticed this or not yet, and if you haven't, you might actually want to have a look at this. And just think about this, that, this person would be exceptionally insecure. They're not stable within their own core. They're not solid in the boots. They would be very dependent on you, whether you thought so or not. They would tell you you depend on them, but actually it's the opposite. They're low self-esteem, no self-confidence. But they need to keep you here because you are their crutch. But again, this is falling on inhibited choices, inhibited moving forward, stopping, being paused, or just you can't move forward for whatever reason. Again, you're sitting here thinking about this, and you are on your way. If you haven't had nothing physically in plan, in a course of action to lead, you're sitting here planning it out in your head. You might not have written anything down. You might not have anything in concrete physical fashion, but you're thinking about it. We have leaving here, walking away. You walked away emotionally, which you're getting ready to walk away physically and actually take the physical steps to get out. This is moving forward onto bigger, better times, greener pastures. You are going to have help with this. And you're looking at that light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, we're going to clarify the Emperor here. Ten of Pentacles. This has got to do with money. Ten of Pentacles, this is to do, you're probably staying there to do with money. So either someone's controlling the money, giving you money, or controlling your money so you can't get out, you can't do anything. It would be like somebody who would give you X amount of dollars a month. It would be just enough to get the necessities. That way you don't have the money to plan a way out or get a way out. Or you're here because you're stuck in there because of money problems, money issues, maybe debt load, finances are keeping you here. And this person is controlling the money and finances. It's just that simple. Okay, so we will stop there, and we're going to grab this deck, and we're going to see. Actually, we're going to grab this deck, and we're going to pull some cards, and it's going to see what. And we're going to pull these. Next row is going to be upright. So this is kind of your answer. The keys you're supposed to be looking at for a correction, an autocorrect, a way out, something to fix, to make life better for you. Okay. Listen to understand, not to respond or judge. However, this applies to you. Okay, so this is two things. This would be listening to your intuition. You know you're not supposed to be here, but you're staying here for purpose. Okay, for whatever reason that is, staying in this environment is no good reason to live with this. This is no good for anybody involved. It's a real heartache and a real problem. It's abusive to a certain point. You take it as it lands, okay? Whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. Take it how it lands. The physical abuse certainly won't be for everybody. You know what? This is like ignoring your intuition. And if this one person you've confided in, hear what they have to say, because lots of times it can turn into a protective fashion because you don't want anybody to know. You'll stick up for this person even though it's rotten behind closed doors because you don't want anybody to know. So sit and listen to what this person has to tell you. Listen to your intuition because you know better. Okay. We're going to pull another card from here, and this is going to be upright. This is going to be our keys, the way out, our key to our answer. What do we need to do? How do we need to understand this to find a way out, a resolution, a fix, a culmination to this? Okay, so this is a curiosity. So what are you curious about? You're curious on how you need to get out of this. You know, I'm going to pull another card because this is an interesting. You're sitting there thinking about this, being curious about different avenues out. And you know what? So maybe somebody might have piqued your interest. So when I see this, somebody's talking to you, and you might have curiosity as to what they said, why they said it. And so just sit, instead of responding, sit and listen to what's being said. Now, if this is your intuition, the message, you might be curious about what your intuition is telling you. Stability, set a solid foundation. Okay, this is what it is. This has got to do with building a solid financial foundation, an independent foundation. This is what you're thinking about. Okay, I need to build something, a solid foundation, in order to set myself up so I don't ever have to go back to this. This is money. This is your assets. This is your house, your home. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to move to? Where am I going to call home? How am I going to look after my kids? A job, money, finances, etc. Okay. So somebody could be helping you, or your mind is running. Listen to it, okay? It's saying get your foundations and your finances in order to find your path out. Okay, and there's a man involved here. So this is an older man, a mature man. So this could be the person helping you. This could be a dad. This could be a grandfather. This could actually be a lawyer. It's an older man helping you. And when we see fives, that means change. So change is coming. You've been contemplating and thinking about this for a long time. And when I see a globe, this could actually physically mean you're getting ready to move out. So whether it's moving houses, apartments, towns, cities, provinces, states, it could be maybe you're moving across the country or into a different country. Okay, yes. This is a bad health. This situation, this relationship is certainly bad for your health. When you see this bad health, this has been a bad health relationship for, and I'm going to say 5 years for sure, but it's actually excess 5 years. It's been very depleting. We're to the point you don't want to be here for 5 years, but before that, it takes a while to reach that point. Okay? And we have that over and over here. We have the 5 here, we have the 5 here. And that kind of confirms it, okay? So we're going to pull a 1 from this. Okay, very nice. Very nice. 7 of Wands. This is not backing down. I love this card. You couldn't get a better row of answers and for your way out to understand how do I deal with this, right? So when you get the 7 of Wands, that's a very cool card. This is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius card, and that means don't back down. Defend yourself. Stand your ground. Stand up for yourself. Protect what is yours, you know. This would be basically doing in the background, setting up your path, setting up your foundation, setting up your finances in order to make your move. So you're going to have it all pre-planned out, however that fits for you. So just for example, take it as it wants. This is not applying to anybody, but making that plan or establishing that plan for a place to move, a new house or a new home. Just for example, setting money aside, saving money, putting money aside to be able to make your move so you can stand on your own 2 feet when you finally flee the nest here, okay? So stand up for yourself. A lot of you have not been. You kind of take shit and abuse over and over, and you will not stand up for yourself. However, I think you've reached the point that it's time to stand your own ground. And this is verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, mean, unkind words, hurtful words, especially if it's the mouth of an alcoholic talking, something like that. And finally, you hit your end of your rope and you finally start standing your ground and not putting up with it anymore. And so that's absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely energy. And your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health might have come to a place where you're being so tired. You actually might have symptoms or you might actually be sick because you've been in here too long. And negative energy, negative relationships, they do impact the physical health and definitely emotional, mental health. So I think maybe you finally hit the end of your rope where you finally realize I can't do this anymore because in the end it's going to make me physically sick to the point I can't do this anymore. Right to the point where you can't live like this anymore. Okay? So that is actually it's an intense reading. It's a dramatic reading. Like again, it's that deep, dark shadow side of the story. This is going on behind closed doors. Most people don't know about this. So this is working on shadow work. And so when I'm just going to touch again on the karmic cycles. So if you sit there and you think back, okay, this has been going on probably for, 5 years for sure, in excess probably of 5 years. If you sat back and you looked at your family karma, say even one generation of your parents, okay, or even your grandparents. If you sat and you thought about it and you looked at this, and is there repeating patterns, or repeating themes, or repeating topics going on from grandma and grandpa, to my parents, to what I stepped into. More often than not, I don't think I've ever seen where it's not. It's a repeated theme and a repeated karmic cycle, karmic lesson that keeps on repeating generation after generation after generation. Now, why does this happen? So when we're experiencing generational karma or karmic cycles, it just simply means we are going to keep on repeating this life lesson until we pass. And it takes a state of awareness. They would call it the black sheep that finally breaks free of this karmic cycle, puts an end to the negative energy, the negative karmic cycle, brings it to completion, and moves on to something new. So until that is corrected, it'll keep on repeating over and over and over in generations or in families. So if you stopped and thought about it that way, see if anything is showing up as being repetitive. And chances are your answer would be yes, it is. So you could be the one who becomes fully aware and says, okay, you know what, this has been going on for generations and generations. Somebody needs to put a stop to this, okay? And that's where your choices come in. You break that negative karmic cycle and you move on to something much, much better. It's those lessons in life. We're all here to learn. We are all here to learn to pass on to the next cycle of life. In a positive way, of course. So again, this is taking charge and taking control of your life and getting out of this. Okay, that will end our deep, dark shadow side of the story. And again, what do? Do I belong here anymore? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. That's totally up to you, right? We're all free will choice. How do I understand this? What do I need to learn from this? Or what do I need to understand from this? And again, it's a very, very, very generational karma involved, or karmic cycles involved. And that also involves karmic partners. Karmic partners in life are here to teach us life lessons, okay? So take it as it lands. Sit and think about that, okay? So if you'd like the reading, claim it and seal it with a midnight kiss, or ditch it and leave it. Remember, we're always, always, always a free will choice. Okay, so again, this is for every watcher and every level of state of awareness or consciousness. Take it as it lands. And remember, it can be reversed or mirrored. So thank you for stopping in, taking the time, and it was an absolute pleasure for reading to you. So if you liked the video, click like, share, subscribe. It helps my channel grow. And until we speak again, wishing you health, happiness, and many mixed blessings. And good luck with your transition and putting this karmic cycle to rest for once and for all, and moving on to something much, much better and much better for your health. Okay. What else do we have to say here? I guess that's about it. Thanks for joining me. Until we talk again, stay happy, stay healthy, take care of yourself, and take care of each other. Bye for now.